What's good, YouTube? So today I'm going to share with you 3 of my favourite drills and techniques for improving your skill in HEMA. Okay, so first up we have flow drills. So for this, get yourself a partner and you want to work out a routine which has you doing blocks and ripostes in a sequence which ends up looping round so that you both do the same thing and the sequence can go on indefinitely. So when you first start doing this, you can focus purely on just getting the hands in the right positions and attacking to the right place. And as you get more experience, you can start thinking about distance more, you can start thinking about footwork, you can start speeding it up, and possibly even start finding ways to make the drill a bit more competitive and a bit more pressure, and put a bit more pressure into it. So these are absolutely fantastic. You get to drill a lot more than you do with simple static techniques. You get to go through a huge variety of techniques very, very rapidly. It's a very, very efficient form of training, and I've found that it also makes you feel a lot calmer when you're under pressure when it comes to actual sparring. So I really highly recommend incorporating some form of flow drills into your routine, possibly as a warm-up near the beginning of your session. So next up we have grappling drills. So historically, grappling, particularly stand-up grappling, has been very important throughout, well, all of Europe as far as I'm aware, but it's not something which is practiced very often in modern HEMA. It does happen occasionally, it is still rare, but I think we'd see a lot more of it if grappling was drilled a lot more. And from a self-defense perspective, it's very, very important. You can, if you're a skilled grappler, you can throw someone twice your size if they're considerably less skilled than you. So very, very important as far as self-defense is concerned. And yeah, in HEMA you've got people from a vast array of different sizes and shapes. You've got 80-pound women, you've got 300-pound men. So yeah, that can make grappling a little bit tricky, but you can still pair people up with people of roughly the same size and shape as them, and you can work up to a stage where the smallest people can throw the biggest people. It's something which can be drilled and definitely can be hugely improved upon, and it's very, very important for overall strength, particularly people who don't do any other form of strength training. So yeah, very, very important. I'd like to see a lot more stand-up grappling drills in HEMA. Finally, we have coached sparring, and this is probably the most beneficial of all of these techniques. So yeah, this is a technique rather than a drill, but what you do is you get a group of 4 and you have 2 people sparring, and you have 2 people acting effectively like cornermen in boxing. And you periodically just break the fight up into rounds, and you have the coaches just instruct the fighters on what they're doing wrong, and it may not necessarily be sparring to win. You may have them say, "Hey, I've noticed that you keep getting double hits, so for the next round, just focus on not getting double hits." Or it could be, you're being too defensive, you're not capitalizing on any openings, so I want you to be more aggressive, or I want you to be more defensive. There's all sorts of different ways you can do it, but it really starts to get, but for the coaches, it really starts to get them actually stopping and thinking about how the other people are fighting, what techniques they're using, what's working, what isn't, which is of course going to help their own sparring when it comes to their own turn. And from the perspective of the people sparring, their performance improves just dramatically. So when I did it, Had a guy going against a Polish saber fencer who was doing a lot of open fighting and sweeping attacks from that position, and lots of chained attacks. Very tall, very long reach. Yeah, it can be quite tricky to deal with. And in the first round, my guy was just getting his ass handed to him. But with a little bit of coaching and just saying, hey, he's always doing these attacks, here's a couple of ways you can deal with it. The next round, he ended up taking the advantage. So in the space of one round, I completely turned it around through some decent coaching, if I do say so myself. So yeah, very, very useful method, and probably more beneficial for the coaches than the people sparring. It really gets them starting to really heavily think about what's going on, watching every single movement of both people, analyzing what works and what doesn't. So really effective training method. And if your club's short on equipment and there's only enough protective equipment for half the people there, this gives an excellent opportunity for the other people to improve their game while they don't actually have the weapon in their hand. So yeah, that's it. If you have any training methods or drills of your own which you'd like to share, please leave them down in the comment section, or better yet, make a video response talking about your own ideas. So thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.